You could definitely accuse me of being a little bit negative when it comes to zero torque. There are now quite a number of videos of me on the internet where I have said, not a massive fan, it's not going to change your life, but I do see some benefits and they might work for some people, but they definitely won't work for everyone. Now, Odyssey have listened to me specifically and have brought out a new series of zero torque putters. The Odyssey square to square tri-hop putter line is now out, and we have loads to talk about in terms of technology and what they've done to make these more usable for more players. So there's 3 different putters. Let's go see how they look. So we have the number 7 with a very popular fang. We have a Rossi, which is cool. It's a new shape in the zero torque world, and we have the Jailbird, which is also available in Cruiser, which is like a longer shaft, heavier grip, more counterbalance. Now, there is a lot to talk about on these putters. Callaway very kindly took me to France at the end of October to show me the new line, and I was very, very impressed with the performance and what they've told me. So to kick things off, the big story here is about the new shaft location. So what Odyssey have managed to do with this putter, which is different to anyone else in the sort of low torque world at the moment, they've managed to get the shaft of the putter like as close to the face as possible, which basically removes how strange zero torque putters look. So the big complaint about the zero torque putters is how strange they sit behind the ball, how the face angle always looks a little bit left, and how people are generally uncomfortable with how much shaft lean they have to have, and also not to mention the fact that they have to have these off-center grips just to make your hands feel somewhat normal. What Odyssey have done is they've done their best to get rid of all of those things. So we have this new multi-material head where the back of the putter is now super light. They've added an enormous amount of tungsten into the head, into like the top line, as close to the face as possible, which obviously then moves the center of gravity really close to the face and means the shaft can go into the head almost on the top line. So it sort of has a feel of just like a normal center shafted putter more than it does like a strange zero torque looking thing. So straight away, as soon as I picked this up, I was like feeling way better about it because it doesn't put me off by like when I look at it. It is like a really usable looking putter. So I'm really happy about that. We still obviously have all the benefits of zero torque. So we don't have the sort of toe wanting to open or close. We still have the fact that we can take it back pretty much dead straight without an arc, which gives us a pretty good start line. And it still has that same feel of, you know, the face just not wanting to twist, which to some people is really good. And that is like what people have been looking for. But the benefit of the Odyssey is we have shapes that we know and like. So the number 7 has been super popular. The Rossi is obviously in the bag of Rahm and McKibben, and the Jailbird, you know, has just been like one of the most successful shapes on tour since whenever Ricky Fowler won with it. Like loads and loads and loads to like about that. The Jailbird itself has the Versa aiming technology, so the black, red, which some people find they're able to line the ball up easier. They aim better with the Versa technology. So speaking of alignment, we also have a new alignment aid on this putter, which is like a crosshair. It has the straight line that sort of is square to the face and square to the Versa, and it also has like a small short line that is 90 degrees to the face, which you would line up with the line on your ball. I really like that. I think everything, the line and the Versa lines all look super parallel, so it all feels very square. But I also do appreciate having that short line perpendicular to the face, just so that I can point my putter in the right place relative to the ball. So I think that's good too. I just feel like the setup position of these new square to square tri-hop putters is so much more natural to me than any of the other zero torque putters. I don't feel like my hands are way forwards. I don't feel like I'm having to either add loft or take loft off. I can pretty much just set up to it like I do with my regular putter, line it up straight, and then you then sort of have all the same feel. Oof, still have then all the same feelings as, you know, like you do have in zero torque, again, which some people really like. Other things just to add are we still have the 120 SL shaft, and we have this new design pistol putter grip, which has some really cool little Odyssey details on it. That just, it's like a mid-size and it sits really nice in the palms. Again, I like how this feels. I generally don't like a big grip, but this feels pretty good. I like how it feels comfy in my hands, which is nice. So I used this putter for an entire round of golf in France, and naturally sort of felt like I wanted to dislike it. Zero torque has sort of been a great conversation. Certainly it's new and it's interesting, and it is interesting to talk about, but my experiences have never been that good, and I would have never have picked one up over just the traditional blade putter personally. But this Rossi putter, I think, is going to convert me. The Rossi is a shape that I've used before. Certainly when I was a kid, I had a sort of plumber's neck Odyssey Rossi putter with very similar lines on the top edge. And we haven't yet spoke about the new grooves. So the face is obviously that sort of white hot material that we all know and love, that we all like the feel of it. It's the most popular face. So I'm really pleased they've kept that material. We have the AI Dual insert, which is like a multi-material face, which has like a softer outer layer for a firmer inner layer, which basically means as long as you hit the ball off this white part of the face, you're going to get very consistent ball speed, which is massive for those of us who don't always hit putts out the middle, especially on long putts, which we don't. And we also have this new groove. So it's called the FRD groove, which stands for Forward Roll Design. And it's basically small little ridges which are angled down to sort of create a bite on the skin of the ball, which then helps the ball roll quicker. So Odyssey is seeing that this, you know, the roll is much better off this. The feel is really good from that urethane insert, and golfers are just putting better with this face. So my own experience when I used it in that round of golf was I hit so many putts dead weight, and I hold way more sort of mid-range putts than I normally do. It just felt like the ball, I'd stroke the putt, the ball had gripped the ground, it'd roll really well, and it'd either hit the hole or go in, which some days that happens and some days that doesn't. It was pretty interesting, and like it takes a lot for me to change putter, but I really enjoyed using this. I wish the greens were a bit faster. Don't get me wrong, I am still getting used to how a zero torque putter feels in the stroke. So it doesn't totally feel natural for me to not almost have any twist. I quite like the feel of being wristy and letting the face open and close, and that works really nicely for me. Where this thing feels like I'm going to hit it a lot less with my wrists, a lot more sort of solid in the stroke, which is then going to allow me to keep the face really square. If you go back and look at the square to square review I did around this time last year, you'll see that I did have some complaints about that putter. I felt like it was too light in the head, and almost like I couldn't feel it, and I also obviously didn't quite like how the shaft went into the head. So I do think Odyssey have addressed those issues. This is a heavier shaft than the SL90 that they've been using, and obviously with the shaft going in a lot closer to the face, I'm much happier with how it looks. So I have just reviewed the Scotty Cameron low torque putters, and I did really like those. I did say at the time in those videos that I thought they were probably the best low torque / zero torque putters that I'd seen, and you obviously, the build quality of a Scotty Cameron speaks for itself. You know, they do feel great, they do look great, but again, I just wasn't sure whether I could use one where this Odyssey square to square tri-hot Rossi has actually gone straight in my bag. I bagged like, I hold so many putts in France, and then since I've had it recently, I found that just with the new face, My roll has been really good on the long putts. I found that I really like the crosshair alignment aid, just helps me get so straight at address. It's really square. My holding out's been good, and the more putts I hit, obviously the more I'm getting used to the sort of the straight back, straight through feel that I get from the square to square putters. So like I am slowly maybe becoming a bit of a convert. Now, the criticisms I've had of this putter are generally only of the appearance. So I've had this in my teaching studio now since it came out, and having now shown it to people, the only thing people can do, or the only thing people can come up with to criticize this putter, is they don't like the color. The red seems to have put people off. Some people have said Dennis the Menace. Other people have said, I'm a Leeds fan, why would I use a red putter? That's almost offensive. So they have been a little bit polarizing in choosing such a deep red. Now to me, it looks premium and quality, and I really like it, but to other people it's almost a non-starter. So it's interesting that Odyssey have chosen that. I'm sure they will have known that there was going to be some reaction to the color, but generally I personally like it, but other people don't. But if the only thing you can criticize someone about is the color of your putter, I think you're doing a pretty damn good job. So definitely better than square to square original in my opinion. Absolutely all about the new tungsten weight, which then has allowed them to move the shaft forwards. This is going to go in my bag for the foreseeable future. So I'll be really interested to know what you think. Do you think this is going to be better than the Scotty? Because the Scotty's obviously very good as well. And are you going to go out and try it? It's interesting. They look good, look less zero torque than most of the zero torque putters, which I think is a good thing. So let me know if you're going to try them. Let me know what you think when you do try them. And if you've enjoyed this video, if you could please like and subscribe. That helps us get more videos out to more people, so they can see what we have to say about gear, and it gives us more opportunities as well. So anything you can do to help, I'll see you in the next one.